This is a short story I wrote for a writing class. It's fiction, but there's a lot of truth. And the main character, Duke, was actually me, in a way. Pretty close to details. Okay, Duke by Mike LaForce. 19-year-old Buck Sergeant John Duke Duval was taking stock of what was left of his rifle squad. They had been getting a lot more than their share lately, and it was taking its toll. He watched as they dug their foxholes and knew instinctively that these holes would be deeper than the ones they dug last night. That was always the case after a hit, like they took that morning. Duke turned as he heard the blades of the Huey start to turn and rev up to speed. He watched as it rose slowly above the trees, lowered its nose, and headed back toward base. He saw Ringo coming down the hill. Ringo had a case of C rations under each arm. Several bandoliers of 16 ammo hung around his neck. He stood in front of Duke. There's some frags and a bunch of 60 ammo still up there. You want me to go back and get it? In a minute, said Duke. Did you talk to the pilot? Yeah, Ringo says, as he let the C rations fall to the ground and started to remove the bandoliers. Ritchie didn't make it. Red overheard their conversation and piped in. No way. Ritchie wasn't hit that bad. One piece of shrapnel in that big gut couldn't kill that guy. Short Round jumped in. I can't believe it. I was talking to him when we were waiting for the chopper. Maybe the morphine was kicking in, but he told me he had the $1 million wound. He said he was going to send us a Christmas card when he got back to the world. It was quiet for a few minutes. Best point man in Nam, said Bert, and he could outdrink anybody in the company. Who's going to finish all that warm beer they keep sending out to us? Lonnie threw down his entrenching tool, stepped out of his foxhole, and reached for his canteen. Stupid white man's war, he growled. Mississippi stood up. We don't need any of that Black Panther shit right now. Lonnie took a step toward Mississippi. Listen, brother, you better get with the program. You're just as black as I am. We don't belong out here. Duke spoke up. Okay, that's enough. We got holes to dig and we're running out of daylight. We'll talk later. I'll set out the flares. Duke didn't normally set out trip flares. He usually just assigned one of the new guys, but he wanted some time alone. As he picked up the satchel of flares and 2 Claymore mines, Ringo moved closer to him and touched his arm. Are you all right, Duke? You and Ritchie were pretty tight. I know you guys came in country together. Duke looked at his corporal. We can handle it. Duke picked up his M16. He reached up with his thumb and rotated the selector switch to full automatic. He scanned the distance tree line for any movement and left the perimeter. He wasn't ashamed or embarrassed to have others see him cry. They had shared tears before, but he was the squad leader now, and that was different. He staked the first flare and checked the tension on the tripwire. He remained kneeling and waited. He waited for the pain. That creeping sorrow he knew would come. He lingered. Not yet, he thought. He moved on. After he completed the next 2 flares, he found a flat rock to sit on and lit a cigarette. He allowed images of his good friend to cascade through his mind. He waited. Not yet, he thought. He moved on. Once he had positioned his last claymore, he stood and watched as the fading sun crept slowly down behind the faraway trees. The realization came to him all at once. He was surprised, but somehow absolutely certain. The pain wasn't coming, and it would not come again. How strange, he thought. It doesn't hurt anymore.
And who was that about? Who was that about?
Me.
No, who died?
Rich. That wasn't Ritchie took Ritchie out.